I'm not you tanking. Fuck the Mayweather. Conor McGregor finally responds to losing by knockout to Dustin Poirier and losing the opportunity to fight Manny Pacquiao. I want to stop to my fight with We're going to talk about it. Conor McGregor speaks to the public and breaks down what went wrong. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more fighting. Make sure you guys smash the like button if you're new. I drop daily content. You don't want to miss this. So hit the bell notification icon. Let's jump right into the mix. Conor McGregor, I'm not tanking. On his verified Instagram page, he posted highlights of his fight, his last fight, in case you live under a rock. He lost by stoppage in the UFC. You know, he lost most of his fights. Like, he lost to Khabib Nurmagomedov, Dustin Poirier, and Floyd Mayweather, all in the space of about 4 years. And his only win, I think it was the Donald Cowboy Cerrone fight. So a lot of people were left wondering, like, is Conor, he just get too rich, too loaded, too much money, lost the hunger and the drive and the determination? Well, Conor, or whoever wrote this, has took to his social media and addressed the loss and kind of what went wrong. Conor McGregor verified page said, some highlights from my last fight. What a trilogy I now have on my hands. Exciting. With a handle on the leg kicks, I will get back to having fun in there. I was in second gear cruising this fight. Best condition I've ever been in. After the wrestling and clinch exchanges, my shots still held their pop. First time for me with this, so I am very encouraged to keep going. It was the first time I did not use nor need the stool between rounds also. I did need the stool after, though, that's for sure. As well as to this day's load and loads of this recovery spray, right? Conor McGregor continues, and let me advance it. Hold on. This stuff is truly magic, by the way, a little shameless plug. All the swelling, bruising, and pain on my leg has literally vanished using it. Try this stuff if you are in pain or banged up. Doesn't work, I'll personally refund you. This stuff is magic. So he's putting a little promo ad in there. Plant-based cryotherapy spray, first and only one of its kind, magic. Now back to the fight. He says, I am extremely happy I did not need to use the stool between rounds here anyway. Another first for me, which he already said. I am most certainly on the right path. Despite the loss, I am on the correct path of evolution. Thoughts on the bout? I enjoy racking up some more time inside the famed UFC octagon. 40 seconds in 3 years is all I had up to this bout. I was savoring very, I think he meant to put every. I was savoring every second and enjoying my work. A little single discipline in my approach and stance with mostly boxing. He said, he says, that's what I get for picking this bout and opponent as a precursor to a boxing match against Pac-Man. I deserve to get the legs kicked off me going in with this thinking. This is not the game to play around with. Besides this, though, my shots were sharp and I was in full control, albeit the leg attacks were building up on me throughout the course. 18 in total thrown at me, with the final one buckling my leg fully. That was that. He said his nerve was compromised. He wrote a whole essay, y'all. He wrote a whole essay regarding this particular fight. He said his nerve was compromised. Fascinating. First time experiencing it. Then a tremendous finishing flurry by my opponent. Hats off. A well-fought fight by the Diamond, obviously referring to Dustin Poirier. That's his nickname. A one piece now with the trilogy. One apiece with the trilogy for all the marbles. Wow, exciting. Not a trilogy I was expecting, nor the tactical affair I was expecting and anticipating. But I'd be lying if I said that wasn't meant to be. This is exactly what was meant to be. He's buzzing. End quote. So it's pretty lengthy, you know. Pretty lengthy commentary. Listen, my thing is this. Conor McGregor, he's pretty methodical. So after his losses, he tries to interpret it and embrace it. He's saying the man in the arena can't wait to go again, saying he can't wait to get back in the octagon. So it looks like a Poirier trilogy is probably going to be next, you know, because the UFC, they match pretty tough. So it looks like that will be next. It's cool that Conor McGregor's breaking it down, but it doesn't really change what I said earlier in the beginning of this video. Conor McGregor, he's starving for wins. The weakest opponent that he fought in recent years is the guy he beat. And, you know, he used the little shoulder attacks and shoulder strikes and stuff like that with Donald Cowboy Cerrone, who a lot of people think, you know, he's kind of washed and past it. So I don't know what explaining really does to the loss. Like, you lost to Poirier. Poirier looked real good. He looked sharp, stayed calm, stayed collected, composed, and it looked nothing like the first fight. And see, the other thing is Conor looked to be in great shape. He said he was in the best shape of his life. And even another thing that he said that was a bit weird is he says he was standing and didn't need his stool in between the rounds, but the fight, if I'm not mistaken, ended in 2 rounds. So it would have been, it was scheduled for 5 rounds, UFC championship 5-rounder, right? So for me, I feel like that doesn't mean really much when the fight didn't really last that long, you know, because could you keep that up? Would you have the stamina to keep that up if it got to rounds 3 and 4 or later? You see what I'm saying? So I don't know why he said that. Like, oh, I don't need a stool to sit down. I felt great cardio, because your legs were getting kicked off. You say you deserve it. Okay, this is what he was advertising in case anybody wants it. You say your legs were getting kicked off, and you know, some people are going to take this as just making excuses. He's saying he was focused on his boxing and more boxing and expected a way different fight. But this is a combat sport. Conor McGregor's been around. He's been in it long enough to know that you can't look past because you knocked him out before. That loss could have haunted Dustin Poirier to the point where he was like, all right, I got you. I've improved since then too. And he has. And it showed in that given night. So that's a rookie mistake for somebody. So it really makes me wonder if Conor still has the same hunger, because, again, that's a pretty rookie mistake. And it sounds a bit like an excuse when you're saying, oh, I could have did this and this different. I mean, everyone's going to say that in hindsight, but I feel great. You said you felt like a machine. You felt like a unit, and, you know, all these things before, and then it didn't show up and you actually got stopped with punches. Now, we've seen Conor McGregor beaten before, and we've seen him lose before, but primarily by submission, like Nate Diaz, even though he was rocked with the shot, but the end result in the Nate Diaz first fight was via submission. So he was looking the part, looking in shape, but, you know, a lot of people just wonder if he has the drive anymore. It's kind of hard, like Marvin Hagler said in boxing. It's hard to get up at 6 a.m. and run 8 miles in silk pajamas. Conor McGregor, we know, with proper whiskey. We see the endorsements all throughout boxing. Here's another one. So, you know, with these adventures, the money you made in the Mayweather fight, that's what people want to know. Because saying you deserve to get your legs kicked off because you were overlooking your opponent that has power, you know, that's kind of cheesy a little bit. To me, this is just my honest opinion. Because he was saying he felt great, he was in shape and trying things different, and we never really got to see it because it was a quick and abrupt end. As soon as his legs got beat up, he became more of a stationary target, and then it opened up the headshots, and, you know, he kind of crumbled. So the trilogy, you know, he's in a bad spot. Like, it sounds good, and I think that's kind of just his demeanor. He's trying to be optimistic and stuff. It sounds good what he's writing, like, oh, tasty stuff and fascinating, but I mean, nobody likes to lose, especially a fighter in front of millions and stuff like that. And these guys are fighters and champions and former champions and stuff. So I know, you know, you got to just shake off the cobwebs and try to get back in there. But he's in a pretty difficult position, in my opinion, now, because he's kind of in a Ronda Rousey position after the Holly Holm. It was just such a bad loss for Ronda Rousey and people thought it was exposed. People thought she wasn't the same, and then you coming back to fight Amanda Nunes, which I get is a different person, but it was pretty much the same outcome, but even quicker. It was like a 48-second stoppage. So for Conor McGregor, I mean, it's super high stakes because if he were to lose to Poirier again, then that means you lost the trilogy, my man, because right now he has 2 open trilogies and he lost one of them to both fighters. That's Nate Diaz and then also Dustin Poirier, right? So Nate Diaz won the first one and he won the second one. Some people even thought Nate Diaz kind of won the second one too. And then same thing with Poirier, but it was reversed. He won the first one and Poirier just knocked him out in the second one. So they both traded knockouts. So he basically has 2 open trilogies. And, you know, if you were to lose one of those fights, it's going to be hard to redeem that, you know? And I don't know, you know, I like Conor McGregor. So we'll see, I guess, how he does and how he responds to it. That'll be pretty legendary because in combat sports, boxing or UFC, sometimes it's what you see is what you get. If you see a guy look like he's fading, then, you know, that's just what it is. Or if you look and see a guy and he doesn't seem the same, he doesn't have the same animal instinct, you know. And the other thing is the Pacquiao fight. He said, I deserve to have the legs kicked off of me because I was training for boxing. But that doesn't, to me, I don't really like that because, look, he says, let me, like, even though he's admitting it, I just kind of don't like that. It says a little single disciplined in my approach and stance with mostly boxing. Like, you were fighting your next fight against a dangerous guy who wanted revenge and redemption and Poirier, and he got cracks. And he's arguably one of the best strikers or the best striker in the game, you know, one of the best guys with striking in hands in the UFC. And you're saying you were focused mostly on the Pacquiao fight and approaching boxing. You know, I really don't like that. He said, it's what I get for picking this bout and opponents as a precursor to a boxing match against Pac-Man. So that's pretty much indicating that fight was pretty much a done deal. And that's maybe why Pacquiao's looking at Ryan Garcia now, which makes no sense because they weren't expecting Conor to lose to a guy he had already beaten. He said, I deserve to get the legs kicked off of me going in with this thinking. So it's just like, what is that? What's the point of saying that now? Like, you did it. It is what it is. So it's making me wonder if Conor's just trying to save face, and if he feels a type of way and he's just trying to put on his big boy pants, but he really feels a type of way in terms of the loss, and he's just trying to, like, you know, hide the pain or whatever. Because I don't understand why you would even be looking at Pacquiao and worried about that when you're fighting in the MMA against Poirier, again, who's looking for redemption and revenge. It's just, you got to take it one step at a time. And now, unfortunately for Conor McGregor, I can't say never, but you lost. He's saying that his legs were kicked off, which is true, but you lost by punches. That's what ultimately caused Herb Dean to stop the bout. So now I really don't know if they can do the Pacquiao fight. Like, does anyone want to see? I get it's 2 southpaws, but you lost to MMA hands. So does anyone really need to see the Pacquiao boxing event? Like, I think he blew the bag, you know, this miscalculation or whatever he's saying, and focusing more on boxing, even though he was fighting in the MMA. He kind of blew the bag, to be honest, because I don't know who's going to believe it. It's hard for, like, I think part of Conor's edge is his confidence. And when you lose, it's hard to keep that same level of confidence, no matter what they say. Like, nobody wants to take L's, and it's hard to keep that that aura or that air of confidence when you lose. That's just what it is. So we notice a difference even in Conor McGregor at the press conference. He was mellowed out. He seemed real chill, and he wasn't wasn't really trash talking Dustin Poirier. He looked like very domesticated, you know what I mean? So we'll see what this means, I guess, when they do the trilogy, to see if he can get that drive back in losing. But I don't know. We'll see. I just don't really know if the Pacquiao fight can even happen at this point. I mean, you could do whatever, they could do whatever they want, but I just don't. I think it's kind of, in my opinion, probably going to be a hard sell now, because he's lost. Look at it. He's lost all fights recently except for the Cerrone fight. So if he just comes back and let's say he knocks out Poirier again, I mean, are people going to be chomping at the bit like, oh, I got to see the Pacquiao Conor fight now? So I don't know. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Best of luck to Conor McGregor. You know, it's nothing personal. I'm just giving my honest opinion. But it really is foolish to focus on boxing if you're not boxing next. If the Pacquiao fight wasn't until after you get in front of Poirier, and you would have had to get past him. But that's just my opinion. Drop yours in the comment section. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more sports. Get unlimited access to premium content with an ESPN Plus subscription. ESPN Plus offers a variety of content, including specials, behind the scenes, docuseries like Bruce Lee's Be Water, and much more. With an ESPN Plus subscription, you get access to a ton of classic archive fights and replays from boxing and the UFC. Big names like, hi, I'm Mike Tyson, come and watch my fight. Floyd Mayweather, easy work, I'm rich. And Manny Pacquiao, yes, it's up to my promoter, just to name a few. If that's not enough, you could get the ESPN bundle, which includes ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus. All 3 apps, one low price. You don't want to miss out. Make sure you guys click that link in the description box of all of my videos. Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.